I will call this meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We will begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Jackie, the minutes from our last meeting, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie.
The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held a regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, October 1, 2015 at 9 a.m. J.C. Rafferty called the meeting to order. Present were J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Grady, Commissioner, Terry Cartwright, Commissioner, Terry Wallace, County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. A motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cartwright. The Commission approved the special meeting minutes of September 24, 2015 with typographical corrections. After discussion, a motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cartwright, the Commission approved the order overruling objection as requested by David Theta Wright, Fiduciary Commissioner, concerning the estate of Shirley J. Hamner, deceased, recommendation to overrule Thomas Harris' objection to probate assets. J.C. Rafferty reviewed correspondence from Kristen Kriega requesting the use of Upshur County Commission meeting room on October 19, 2015 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a Sam's Club membership drive. After discussion, no action was taken due to lack of a motion. Terry Wallace reviewed amendments to the Upshur County Commission Employee Medical Benefits Plan, revising the schedule of benefits. After discussion, a motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cartwright, the Commission approved Master Plan Document Amendment Number 1 and Amendment Number 5. Revisions include changes to the HRA maximum annual contribution, the health reimbursement benefits and maximum benefits, the coverage of X-ray and prenatal services, and non-network services at 60% plus deductible. The revisions are effective for coverage beginning on or after July 1, 2015. Carolyn Crozier, Regent. Elizabeth Zane Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, appeared with other members of the chapter and read the proclamation which honors the Daughters of the American Revolution's 125 years of service to America. After discussion, a motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved and authorized the Commission to sign the proclamation. After discussion, a motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cartwright, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the Transitional Reinsurance Fee Selection and addendum to the Administrative Service Agreement, which allows ABSO to complete the administration of the reinsurance fee program and to sign the addendum to the service agreement. The document and associated fees are mandated by the Affordable Care Act. After discussion, a motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved the first reading of an ordinance granting a renewal franchise to Sequel 3 Communications to LLC, a Delaware limited liability company doing business as Sutherland Communications, to operate and maintain a cable system in the county of Upshur, West Virginia, and setting forth conditions accompanying the grant of franchise, superseding all previous franchise ordinances for the County Commission of Upshur County. After discussion, a motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cartwright, the Commission approved the appointment of Benny Nazelrod as Upshur County Enhanced Emergency Telephone Advisory Board member. Mr. Nazelrod's term expiration will be June 30, 2018. After discussion, on motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the commission approved the resignation of Tommy Newman as part-time deputy clerk in the office of the county clerk. Effective. I think that's near. Effective October 3, 2015, Carrie Wallace advised that Ms. Newman has agreed to fill in when it is necessary to take commission minutes in the event of the absence of the recorder and would be paid under the office of the county clerk. Is that correct? Sure.
And that's correct.
That is correct? Okay. Didn't look right. Sorry.
That's okay.
J.C. Rafferty reviewed correspondence from Joyce Harris Backer announcing her resignation from the James W. Curry Library Board, effective immediately. After discussion on motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the commission approved the appointment of Lori Aldridge Harvey to fill the board vacancy as recommended by Ms. Harris Backer. Ms. Aldridge Harvey's term will expire December 31, 2016. After discussion on motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the commission approved the amendment of the James W. Curry Advisory Board's appointments as recommended by Carrie Wallace, board member. After discussion on motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the commission approved the employment of Tony Newman as part-time fire clerk at the rate of $15 per hour effective October 5, 2015, as recommended by Joe Malcolm, Fire Board President. Ms. Newman will work no more than an average of 30 hours per week. The Upshur County Fire Board will reimburse the county for payment of Ms. Newman's wages and related expenses. Carrie Wallace reviewed a request from an interview committee for the E911 Communications Center, consisting of Terry Cartwright, Steve Lehner, and Carrie Wallace, for the promotion of telecommunicators to the position of supervisor effective October 4, 2015. After discussion on motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the commission approved the promotions and a pay raise in the amount of $1 per hour for Carol Dean, Michelle Mackey, Doyle Cartwright II. In addition, a pay raise in the amount of 50 cents per hour was approved for current supervisor Cecilia Stewart. Addie Helmick, Women's Aid and Crisis Representative, appeared before the commission and read the proclamation designates October 2015 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Upshur County. Ms. Helmick encouraged citizens to be aware of the tragedy of domestic violence and participate in community efforts and support those working towards its end. After discussion on motion by Terry Cartwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the commission approved and authorized the commission to sign the proclamation. J.C. Rafferty reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, Assessor's Certificate of Compliance from Walt Helmick, Commissioner of Agriculture, regarding Donald Rice's completion of the farm census of 2015. Agriculture, regarding 2015 satisfactory compliant with the requirements of the Farm Statistics Law and being eligible to receive compensation from the county court according to Chapter 7, Article 7, Section 6C of the new Code of West Virginia. 2, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, Office of Energy Projects, project update for the WV Express project, September 2015. 3, Upshur County Sheriff's financial statement for period ending August 2015. Hodgesville Lions Club event flyer, October 10, 2015. 5, agendas and/or notice of meetings as listed. 6, meeting minutes as listed. 7, meetings as listed. 8, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. The commission approved all invoices for payment. The commission approved all vacation orders. The commission approved the following settlements as listed. The commission approved the following exonerations and/or refunds as listed. The commission approve the following request to attend meetings as listed. With no further business, on motion by Terry Cartwright, second by Cory Green, the commission adjourned at 11:30 a.m.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate your attentiveness to that. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes as read? If not, I would request a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Today's agenda, we have a 9:15 appointment. Mr. Robert Grandusky will make a presentation regarding first responder concerns in Illinois. This may lead to a executive session for West Virginia Code 6-98-4D. At 9:30, we have Alicia, Tom, and Avery Thacker for presentation of Liver Awareness Month proclamation. At 9:45, we have a second reading of the ordinance granting a renewal franchise to Sequel Communications, LLC. Until that first appointment at 9:15, we have about 5 minutes. We'll proceed to correspondence, items for discussion, action, or approval. The first item is correspondence from Albert Lake requesting to be reappointed to serve on the James W. Curry Advisory Board for another 5-year term effective January 1, 2016. Upon approval, Mr. Lake's new term would expire December 31, 2020. Is there a motion to approve that request?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from Rodney Rollinson, Program Director, 26th Judicial Circuit Community Corrections, requesting a salary increase for Jerry Lewis from $10.07 per hour to $11 per hour, effective September 21, 2015. That is a reimbursable expense which is run through the county, but the funding is made, decisions are made by a board of that community corrections organization. We strictly run their account through our books with the funding, and we're then reimbursed by the grant. So is there a authorization to approve that pay increase or salary increase as requested by Mr. Rollinson?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from Rodney Rollinson, Program Director, 26th Judicial Circuit, Community Corrections, requesting an hourly wage increase of 60 cents to Melanie Edmond, effective immediately. Upon approval, Ms. Edmond's pay wage rate will increase from $11.80 per hour to $12.40 per hour. Again, as with the previous request, that is a decision made by the Board of the Community Corrections, and there's a grant which we run through our books and will be reimbursed to the county. Is there a motion to approve that request?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from Steve Linger, E911 Communications Center Director, requesting Levi Heatherly be promoted from trainee to full-time regular telecommunicator at his current rate of pay effective immediately. Is there a motion to approve that request?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from David E. Godwin, prosecuting attorney, requesting employment of Amanda Beer Woody as full-time legal assistant at the wage rate of $11.25 an hour, effective October 11, 2015. Is there a motion to approve that request of the prosecutor?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. It's now 9:15. We have Mr. Robert Grandusky present to prepare or provide statements relative to first responder concerns in Illinois, Upshur County. Mr. Grandusky, do you wish this to be an executive session or to be an open session?
Open.
Okay. Please take the podium, and the floor is yours.
There's no microphone.
It's right here, sir.
I hope that I'll,
Get the microphone back.
okay. I hope that I can say what I need to say this morning. In the limited time amount allotted to me without messing up.
Take your time.
Saying something, don't tell me to take my time. You can't with a 10-minute time limit or something
15,
or other.
but to collect your
15.
thoughts, collect your thoughts.
I have done just about as much as I can to try to collect my thoughts. I pray that the Lord will be with me, that I'll be able to say what I need to say. Ellamore the Ellamore people, we are not second-rate people. We used to be in the heyday of Ellamore, just kind of we used to be looked at by people in Buchanan and Upshur County. Really, they wanted to see the people of Ellamore be able to come in to town to spend their money and so on when the Moore-Keppel Lumber Company was going on. We are a small place. We have 3 counties: Upshur, Barber, and Randolph. All of them. Ellamore is part of all these 3 counties. I think that that's just about the only little township in probably West Virginia that has that going on, where we're okay. It should strengthen us. It should strengthen us, but it's taking the opposite direction. We need to transcend our differences, our boundaries, our county lines, and try to find a common ground to go on. I don't want to build up walls, but rather tear some down. The walls of lines which divide counties are also dividing Ellamore at this time, and it depends upon what side of the wall you stand on as to whether you will get the help you need when you need it, or you may die while someone squabbles over county lines, or whose ground it is that you're standing. Ellamore is divided into 3 sections. I don't know of any other place, like I said, that has this. I think it's a problem. When a real emergency arises, it doesn't, or rather shouldn't matter where your first responders or your help comes from. I have a 472 number on my telephone at the house. If I call 911 on my telephone at my house, it now goes to Upshur County. Even though I live in Randolph County, about 1 mile in. As far as I know at this time, I am the only living member, or I'm the only living founder of the Ellamore Fire Department. The reason the fire department was formed is because we got tired of people dying, we got tired of businesses burning, homes burning, and things, and having to do with slow response time. I have had this phone since 1975. Okay, do the math. 40 years. When my wife and I moved to Ellamore, it's not much later, the fire department was formed. I dial 911 and my call comes to Upshur County, as do a lot of people that are on Lance Road. And Lance Road and off of Lance Road, just going up into the Randolph County portion. We are now told if you live on the Randolph County side of the river, you can't get the help you need unless Colton advises that it's okay. I have a few choice words about that. I don't think now is the time to, I won't use it for, but it's law. But cannon won't cross the river. A lot of times, Upshur County units won't cross the river to go down Lance Road, to go within 2-3 miles of, and it's still in Elmore. Elmore can't go into Elmore. Colton is too slow to respond. 20 to 30 minutes maybe instead of 5 minutes. I would like to see Colton possibly have a substation at Elmore. That they are going to tell the Elmore residents, we need to okay any Upshur County units coming in to Randolph County. It's not our fault. It's not my fault I'm in Randolph County. It used to be when our fire department was first formed, we were in Randolph County. Randolph County still didn't recognize Elmore Fire Department as a fire department. We did all that, crossed all the I's and dotted all the T's and we've had hot dog sales and cakewalks and road tolls and doing everything we can to be able to make a dime, to put gasoline in the trucks and to keep firemen alive, to keep us okay so we can go home with our families. Well, the phone company has been taking probably $3 or $4 a month for over 35 years tonight, and all the others that have a 472 number. We still can't get the help we need when we need it. What can the Upshur County Commission do to help to transcend these, blot out the county line, give the Elmore Fire Department the ability to be able to go ahead and help the people? If it was Colton, say, if it was Colton that was divided into 3 counties, Mr. George would have maybe a different view on this. He's the chief of the Colton Fire Department. Colton wants fire fees. People pay, and then they die while waiting for help. It's not right. It's not right.
Now we've been provided, I think you indicated you had a copy of the Colton Volunteer Fire Department mutual aid agreement between Colton and the Elmore Department.
Yes, sir.
And that was the most recent one, at least the one I have a copy of, the one that we provided is March 18th of this year.
Yes, sir.
And that was an
As you can see by looking over these mutual aid agreements, these agreements are all one-sided. I'm sorry, but they are. And the first section, the last address in Randolph County is 3117 Cammahonigan Road in Elmore, West Virginia, with the closest landmark being River Rock Campground, Long Run Road, Brooks Run, and any other places Route 151 east of the county line to the Kingsville intersection. I've also attached maps and blah, 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 blah. Requires the fire department to be dispatched and company 444 will be found and so on. If the call is received by Upshur County 911 and the emergency is in Randolph County, the dispatcher will immediately notify Randolph County 911 Center to alert Colton and immediately dispatch Station 5 Elmore as per the automatic mutual aid agreement that is attached, and so on and so forth. Both of them, with what was written by Ernie George, and I really don't know even for sure that the second one, dated March the 8th, was even signed by my chief. I don't see evidence of that. I just see where Mr. Ernie George had signed or had written it.
The one that we have has signatures of Mr. George on 1/2/2014. And
2014, correct.
And then also Jamie Pugh, which would be the Elmore chief,
Yes, sir.
on 1/2/2014.
These are two different letters, written at two different times.
Correct.
The only map I have of Elmore that I was able to get from Elmore. Why I'm being stonewalled on this, I don't know, but I feel like I'm being stonewalled.
By whom, sir? Who do you feel you're being stonewalled by?
By people that I contact having to do with providing me a map of Elmore.
Are these people within the county government, or are they citizens, or?
Yes. And yes and no. But referring to the map, Randolph County and the Barber County and Upshur County and so on, the bottom line is I would like to either have Elmore able to take care of Elmore and its people, maybe even to have two-tones dropped. If there's an emergency, my wife passed away on April 17th of this year. And it had to do, a lot of it with miscommunication, confusion. And the paper that I gave you having to do with the 911, Steve Langer's a great guy, I'm telling you, he really is. He has helped out more than a lot of people would, a whole lot. But Upshur County and Randolph County, the details and so on, they were told to come out to Lamb Run Road. There is no Lamb Run Road. County Road 13/1 is Lamb Road. My father-in-law, Wendell Lamb, helped to build it. Saying that my son had called and said that my wife had fallen out of the bed. She was face down, we couldn't get to her. Couldn't get her rolled over, couldn't get her to where she could be looked at or worked on or anything else. I went out to call my son to come over to the house, and he was just a little ways away. I went back to look about my wife again, and she was gone. I could find no pulse, I could find no breathing or anything else. There would have been a good time to do CPR. It would have been a good time to, but I wasn't able to get her to the place to be able to do CPR on her. something has to be done. Something has to be done. Either to have Colton get a substation, or Upshur County being able, units being able to cross the line and Upshur County units have a lot to do in Upshur County, believe me, they do. They're a great bunch of firefighters, great bunch of firefighters. But the people of Elmore need help. After I leave here, I'll be taking some of these papers, I'll be going over to talk to Randolph County too. We've got to come to some kind of an agreement to take care of the people of Elmore.
Do you view this as an issue with regards to the boundaries are more a result of a position that the Colton Fire Department has taken, or the Elmore Fire Department has taken? I guess the question is...
The Elmore Fire Department almost has had to take to a degree. But Colton Fire Department has taken. As I said, you look down through the letters from the chief and even the mutual aid agreement. I'm sorry, but it's bull.
Well, I noticed there is
It's
no
all
signature.
one-sided.
Well, I noticed there is no signature. It just says thanks, and it gives the name of the chief of police, fire chief for that department at the bottom of the of what they call a mutual aid Elmore. Could I have Steve Linger comment? If he has any, do you have any information to add to this?
I do. The mutual aid agreement itself is dated 1/2/2014.
That is the one that is in existence.
Yeah, and the letter on top is an explanation of that. By Gurney George, the original. So the top copy isn't a mutual aid agreement, it's just an explanation of the other listed mutual aid agreement. It starts out, this letter is written as a form of direction to clear up previous issues that we've had in the past. So the top copy is not a mutual aid agreement, it's just an explanation of.
Were you consulted with this? Were you consulted with this department prior to being submitted to you by the Colton?
I was just faxed a copy of it. But at issue here is that he only wishes mutual aid for 3 conditions. Number 1 there on the letter of explanation is for structure fires, brush fires, and motor vehicle accidents. He does not want mutual aid from Elmore for anything else.
Steve, is it against the law for Upshur County to go into Randolph County?
The policy of Upshur County EMS is not to go into Randolph County unless it's paged. We receive a request from Randolph County.
That's a policy.
And they cannot on their own just go in. They have to have an official request.
That request comes from the fire department or from their 911 center?
It would be from the 911 center or the fire department telling the 911 center to go ahead and send.
Who controls? Which agency, the fire department or 911 in Randolph County?
911 would have policies and procedures to go by, and if there is a policy and procedure there, usually they just go ahead and ask for mutual aid. But he has limited their ability to send over for what we would call an EMS assist.
It appears to me, again, I'm not an attorney and I'm not involved in negotiations, but it appears that because of the cover letter, I'll call it a cover letter to the mutual aid agreement that was a year old when this cover letter came in, over a year old, about a little over a year old, that this is something that I would interpret as a decision made unilaterally, not without consulting with possibly the other fire department, Elmore, or with...
Elmore feels that they should be utilized for more. For instance, a situation like Mr. Grandusky's talking about.
Well, he's only 1 mile into Randolph County.
They could be there.
If it's a more immediate response that the fire department in Upshur County can render aid, it would seem to me that to me is a commonsensical approach. Because if a life is on the line,
Absolutely. But Chief George has the opinion that that's his first due area and that he should make decisions for it.
I think that if a citizen has a 472 number and the 911 call comes to our comm center, then we should dispatch the closest people there.
because by the time you call,
Well, and the problem is, yeah, we don't have maps for outside of our county on our CAD system or anything. We have to call Randolph to actually get directions to places in other counties. It's just that we know where Lambert Road is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody in Elmore knows where it's at.
Well, there's a lot of people evidently that don't. They were looking for my address the night my wife died, and there was such confusion as to where I was located. It took an additional amount of time. It took too much time.
it would seem,
For people
again,
to show up.
at first glance, it would seem that the resolution to this may very well be with 911 Randolph County. Because if they are the have ultimate responsibility for dispatching, they have ultimate responsibility for ensuring service to Randolph County, which is where you reside, that they should, again, it would appear that they should have the authority to designate who can respond in this particular situation. It appears that maybe the Colton Fire Chief is arbitrarily, for whatever reason, making a decision that impacts on people in his own community, his own due area. It's maybe to the detriment of those people, as it appeared in the case involving your wife. Sorry for your loss.
It is to our detriment, yes.
What we can do, and of course, we have no authority over Upshur County 911, or over Randolph County 911.
No, sir.
But I can assure you
But
that I will speak with one of the commissioners over there that I have good relationships with.
if we would be able to, thank you for that, but if Upshur County would help to dissolve boundaries put on Elmore by county line.
We cannot guarantee that, obviously, because Randolph
Can't
County has.
guarantee that, but at least try.
Well, we will discuss the issue with them. I think you have three commissioners here who have heard you, and we have three counterparts in Randolph County that have authority over 911, as we have authority over 911 in Upshur County. And I think this is a matter that hopefully can be resolved. There's always an issue of personalities and the people that make influence over decisions, but I think this is, to me, again, first blush, to me, this is a very obvious matter that hopefully can be rectified through simple conversation and understanding as to what is a common sense approach.
I would hope so. I would hope that common sense would prevail. I would hope that people would, I've taken well 10 or 15 minutes, but common sense would prevail, and that people in Upshur County, if we need help in Elmore, and we call out Tomsville, we call out Junior, no problem. But we call out into Randolph County, we have problems. I have a problem with people, the EMS, the people being able to cross over into Randolph County to my home from Upshur County. And gentlemen, this is your fault. This is why I'm here.
Well, we thank you for your presentation, Mr. Randusky. And again, we're
Thank you.
sorry for your loss. We're sorry for your loss. And we will do what we can to rectify the situation. I can assure you of that.
Thank you, sir.
And I can also assure you that this should not happen again. I mean, a boundary line shouldn't cost somebody their life. This commission will check into it and do what we can
Thank
to
you.
get it straightened out, but that's all we can do. You know what I
Thank you,
mean?
Mr. Brady.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Do you have any additional information, Steve, that was there on this?
No, other than that, we had, the night that he was talking about, we had dispatched Upshur EMS, and they found out it was in Randolph County, and they said without permission that they couldn't enter Randolph
It
County.
actually was conversation
Yeah,
between the EMS unit dispatched, and they were advised they could not enter Randolph County.
county, right. That's, they're only
That to me-
mandated, they can only,
I can't-
by their charter, they can only do Upshur County unless requested.
We will look into it. We will look
Unless
into it.
requested by who?
I will look into it. Yes, dear.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
What about mutual aid? Generally, I mean, here in Upshur County, you'll run 2 different companies.
Right. Well, there's an addendum to this that was submitted by unilaterally by the Colton Fire Department chief, which impacts on the original mutual agreement, which was in 2014. This is just in March of this year. So that has to be, that's his interpretation. Apparently, what Mr. Grandusky is saying, that's his interpretation of what, and Mr. Linger's indicated, of what the mutual agreement in his mind should be. But I think we can contact the Randolph County Commission. And you say you're going to be there this afternoon at their meeting to present?
No,
this?
sir, I'm not scheduled to go in
Okay.
for their meeting, or I need to contact them. And it may be a meeting that isn't a meeting. I might be meeting with them out of the commission office type of thing to try to go over these.
But you are going, your intent is to contact the
Oh,
Randolph
yes.
County Commission?
Yes, sir. I will contact them.
But we will also contact them as well.
Thank you.
I
Thank
have a
you.
question.
Yes.
Does ESP have the same policy that you cannot cross the county line?
Actually, no, that's got a, my interpretation would that, for that be, and again, you know, I'm not an attorney or, it has always been anywhere in the country, if someone calls for an ambulance or calls for a service, it's generally whoever they would want is supposed to go. So I'm guessing that Upshur County's EMS, and I can't speak for them because it's not my service, but I'm guessing it's a mutual agreement between Upshur County EMS and Randolph County EMS, that they won't go over there without Randolph County EMS knowing about it.
Do you have that on file? See that that is the mutual
Let's
agreement?
see,
No,
I'm assuming that's probably the policy, because I can't imagine the county commissioner, there's no state ordinance saying you can't cross county lines. We go to Barber County, we go to Lewis County, we go to Upshur County, we go to Randolph. You know, if that call would came to us, we would have went. There's nothing saying we can't go. So I'm assuming that's an agreement probably between Randolph County and Upshur County EMS, and they don't want
The
to.
side agreement then
Between the two services.
squads.
I would doubt it has nothing to do with state law.
Thank you. We're a little bit late, but I think it was well worth the extra time that Mr. Grandusky spoke, because the issue is an important issue. I appreciate your bringing it to our attention.
Thank you, sir.
We now are a little bit late, but we do have a presentation for our Liver Awareness Month proclamation from Alicia, Tom, and Avery Thacker.
Well, Avery
And Avery has left.
Her patience level isn't as good as ours.
Alicia will read the proclamation.
Yes, before I do, I just want to, some of you know me, some of you don't. This has a near and dear place to our heart because Avery was diagnosed with a very rare liver disease in January, which ultimately led to her having a liver transplant in May of this year. She's doing fantastic, but during her journey, we've definitely had our eyes open to liver awareness. Prior to that, I assumed that liver disease was an elderly man that drank too much, and I think the stigma, most people think that. I didn't realize the importance of the liver or what its functions were, so that's my passion now, to make sure that the public understands that and how to care for it, because there's over 100 types of liver diseases, and some of which can be prevented by lifestyle changes. So I want to make sure everybody understands that. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is on the rise. And a lot of that is environmental. Some of it is also just obesity, and not taking care of yourself by what you eat and drink. So we just want to bring awareness about that so that we can help stop some of these diseases in their tracks. 1 in 10 Americans are diagnosed with some sort of liver disease every year. And a lot of people don't know that they have it until they go for a routine physical. And others, it's very obvious right off the bat. So we're here today just to ask you guys to proclaim the month of October as Liver Awareness Month. During the month of October, the American Liver Foundation urges the public to take control of their health by learning about the function of the liver, to inform the public about common signs of liver disease, to educate the public about steps they can take to protect their liver, to reduce the stigma of liver disease, to create an opportunity for the community to learn how to care for this underappreciated and vital organ, because the liver is the largest organ in the body. It's essential for survival and acts as the body's filter, processing everything we eat, drink, breathe, and put on our skin. We're asking Upshur County Commissioners to declare October 2015 as Liver Awareness Month and encourage the businesses and residents to display an emerald green ribbon during the month of October for individuals and families affected by liver disease. October is primarily known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we would never want to take away from that. We're just asking you to put a little green with that pink. So that's our proclamation and what we're asking today.
Thank you, Bishop. Having heard the proclamation, is there a motion to approve the commission to designate October as Liver Awareness Month?
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. If you bring up, do you have the original?
I think you have the original, but
You have the original?
yes.
Proclamation? You can bring it up, we'll sign it if you like. I'm certain there'll be a photograph taken.
Do you want to get Avery for the photograph?
Yeah, that's fine.
Come on up. Tom, don't be shy. You can bring your diaper bag if you want to.
Sorry, pick that for me.
We have.
Your man bag. Oh, thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank
Use
you,
that.
guys.
I'll put it up here with my pink one on there.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Green is also, I think, organ.
It is, so we'll be back to
Yeah.
visit you in April.
Very good. In fact, one of my friends had surgery here recently. Very good, thank you. There's like 6 photographs.
Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you.
It's good seeing you too.
How are you? Huh?
Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Returning to your old home spot.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you.
Alicia used to be one of our county employees. Our here working in the town.
I didn't read those.
Have your office space. Thank you, then. Okay. Well, it's 9:45. With the past meeting, we'll have the second reading, which will not actually have a reading per se, but ordinance granting a renewal franchise to Sequel 3 Communications 2 LLC, a Delaware limited liability company doing business as Suddenlink Communications to operate and maintain a cable system in the county of Upshur, West Virginia, and setting forth conditions accompanying the grant or franchise, superseding all previous franchise ordinances for the County Commission of Upshur County. It's under separate cover if anyone wishes to read that particular ordinance. It is available through the county, but it is a very lengthy legal document full of language that probably bore most people to death, but nonetheless is a requirement. So, That is the second reading. We'll continue now with items for discussion, action, or approval. Going down to item number 6. We have correspondence from Rodney Rollinson, Director, 26th Judicial Circuit Community Corrections, requesting the employment of Cheyenne Walters as full-time project director on a 90-day probationary period effective October 11, 2015. Upon approval, Ms. Walters' rate of pay will be $14.50 an hour. As with the previous 2 requests from Mr. Rollinson or Deputy Rollinson, the funding for this is through a grant and is basically passed through the Upshur County financial books, but is reimbursed to the county in total by the grant. So the salary schedule, the approval of the employee is made by the board of the Community Corrections. Is there a motion to approve the request of Deputy Rollinson?
So moved.
There's a second. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next, we have a request for the approval of Lewis Upshur Animal Control Facility volunteer, Angela Elizabeth Thompson. Is there a motion to approve her appointment as a volunteer?
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye. Motion carries. Make a comment. I was out at the animal control facility last week with my granddaughter, and I was very impressed with the cleanliness, the order, the maintenance of the animals. We got a very good facility there, and I would recommend that anyone that is interested in adopting an animal, whether it be a kitten or a dog or an adult cat or a puppy, to go out to that facility. We have a number of individuals, or a number of individual animals that make fine pets. And I would also encourage people to spay and neuter their pets, because it's just a shame that we have more animals in that shelter than we should have. But in any event, that's my 2 cents on that. Yes, Mr. Mayor. I know this is one of your
well, since you brought it up, it's on the agenda.
I know you've spoken to us before on this. And,
I'm curious to know that, and I was going to ask, and I might have been bringing it up at the at our dual meeting, and unfortunately you won't be there for that.
I will be
I
out of town.
have been out there quite a bit. In fact, they've talked to me, you're going to be a foster parent for dogs now, as far as until they can get adopted. The city is very interested. The only way we contribute right now is through the cat house, so to speak. The city would be interested in engaging the county commission to see how, as a team, we would better be able to help facilitate either an expansion of or some extra space thereof, and help fund it through both governments to help facilitate more animals, and actually to look at making that a no-kill shelter at some point.
Right. Of course, Lewis County is our partner. At the present time, we'd have to negotiate. But I certainly think that that would be something that we would be interested in.
We have had discussions at City Council about this already. In fact, we may even be looking at a way perhaps to help fund your animal control officer. Maybe even the city may contribute having an officer as well, work as a team in tandem. But you're absolutely right. They run a great facility. It's just very much undersized at this point for the amount of animals coming from both counties. I would love to be able to have that dialogue with you as well, and if you want to have Lewis County together, I would appreciate that. I think we could do a lot for our animals and humanity.
Possibly Mr. Doss and Carrie can get together and set up some arrange a meeting between the interested parties. And
absolutely.
That would be a good first step forward. Well, thank you
for bringing that forward. That's
I wanted to say it last week. I wanted to say it last week because it was more closely to when I'd been there, but we got other issues. But there's nothing like an animal lover because there are many animal lovers, and they are very passionate and very sincere in their dedication to animal rights.
Absolutely, and the city is now revamping the Ordinance 397, which is our animal care and control, which has put a lot more penalties in place for mistreatments, tethering, and just abandoning of animals. And we're gonna try to make it so that we can enforce it, but with just the one animal control officer, that's hard to do.
Right.
And our police are busy taking care of
Right.
really human safety issues, don't have time to try to enforce animal control issues.
You have enough issues with barking dogs. When I was chief, that was
Barking neighbors, too.
barking neighbors.
So, I would encourage that, and if you do want to have that opportunity or that chance to speak, we would be really
We
willing to.
will follow up on that. I don't care if
Absolutely.
follow up.
I will say that questions have gone across our listserv through the CCAWB, the County Commission Association of West Virginia, and we are the minority in the fact that we only have one animal control officer in our county. The majority of other counties have two or at least one and part-time
Yes.
as well. Our animal control officer does help at the Lewis Upshur Animal Control Facility when he's not out on calls. If we could have one in the city, that would be part-time or full-time, that would operate within the municipality, and then also help at the shelter during their downtime.
Yeah.
It would be a great benefit to the facility. Jan has said numerous times, the problem is staffing. They could definitely use another part-time or full-time person.
Let me ask you this, your animal control officer, they're considered law enforcement?
Yes.
They can write tickets relative to the contract breaching.
But he
When
carries a
you-
weapon as well, does he not?
Carry a weapon.
He does carry a weapon, however, when they go to court, I believe they do have to get the sheriff's deputies involved in certain
And they're a
circumstances.
humane officer as well.
They don't have as much authority, of course, as a deputy does.
Right, yes, I understand that, but they fall under the guise of
Within the-
law enforcement office
Yeah.
through the sheriff. Well, why I'm saying that is because the city's now fixing to finish its ordinance on the part-time officers, police officers. I can see that if that is the case, where we could actually utilize a part-time police officer to help with the animal control if it's within the law enforcement guise. So I think that avenue and road's ready and set to go, it's just a matter of now how do we proceed with it.
Sounds very
The
good.
position here at the county was recently transferred from being under the maintenance department to being under the sheriff's department.
We could facilitate that a lot easier with that case than through law enforcement.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor.
Continuing down, number 8, review and approval of disruptive behavior policy for the Upshur County Courthouse and the Upshur County Courthouse Annex. This basically, I'll call on you, Carrie, to indicate the necessity of raising this.
As you're aware, we have residents visiting our facility on a daily basis. There are times that hostile behavior is an issue, and we would like to be able to address that before calling the sheriff's department, and this will give us the authority to do so. The policy will be posted in the courthouse annex, and here in your commission meeting room.
This would be threatening or rude behavior to employees. You know, someone comes in to transact business with the county and they have an issue or perceived issue. That does not give them the right to berate or to embarrass or to threaten a county employee.
Or other members of the
Or other
public.
members of the public that are in the courthouse campus as well. So these are just basically a simple statement of conduct that will not be tolerated. And it's a matter of courtesy. It's a matter of common courtesy. We would expect our employees to be courteous to the public. We expect the public to be courteous in turn. So, okay, thank you. Do we have approval for that? Is there a motion to approve that set of statement of issues relative to disruptive behavior policy?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a review and signature of final notice letters of the following property owners. This would be a letter sent to the above-named individuals, I'll name them in a second, pertaining to the safe structures and sites complaints that have previously been filed, investigated, and there have not been property has not been brought into compliance with these individuals. They are Phil Lance, Danny and Shirley A. Heater, John and Rita A. Simmons, excuse me, Amy W. Tenney, Larry Koger, and Rick W. Carrier, Jr. Is there a motion to issue and sign those letters?
I'd like to add one thing. These letters also make the property owners aware that you have earmarked funds in this year's budget to resolve any issues with safe sites and structures properties. And they also let them know that within the next month to 2 months, you will be looking at the properties that are currently not in compliance with the Safe Sites and Structures Ordinance and choosing to address a number of those. It also states that per West Virginia State Code, you do have the authority to place a lien on the property after it is cleaned up in order for it to be sold through circuit court proceedings.
Right. So we recover our funding at that point.
Yes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Next, we'll go down to, for your information, we have a thank you letter from the Upshur County Family Resources Network and Stalker Youth Center in regards to the 2015 Upshur County Children's Festival. We have correspondence from Sarah E. Miller, Justice Program Specialist, Division of Justice and Community Services, notifying applicants that they have been recommended for funding for the upcoming fiscal year. However, this is not an official award. It's not a consolation prize, but it is just letting us know that we are applied for the award, but not the official announcement for the award. They could have saved a postage stamp. In any event, the recommendation for the awards from the Office of Victims of Crime are contingent upon the governor approving and awarding the grants. So once the governor approves and signs off on the grants, we will receive our award. We have James W. Curry Public Library calendar of events for October 2015. We have the Upshur County Family Resource Network newsletter for October 2015. We have agendas and our notices of meetings. We have meeting minutes, and we have dates of meetings for the various boards that are attended by county commission employees or commissioners. We have appointments up and coming. We have next regular meeting for the Upshur County Commission will be October 15, 2015, 9 o'clock a.m. Is there any other information, Carrie, that needs to be brought to the attention of the public?
I don't believe so.
If not, I know that we're going to have some bills to pay. So we'll handle those then.